الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
استقيموا واعتدلوا يرحمكم الله. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تقدموا بين يدي الله ورسوله واتقوا الله إن الله سميع عليم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا ترفعوا أصواتكم فوق صوت النبي ولا تجهروا له بالقول كجهر بعضكم لبعض تحبط أعمالكم وأنتم لا تشعرون. إن الذين يغضون أصواتهم عند رسول الله أولئك الذين امتحن الله قلوبهم للتقوى لهم مغفرة وأجر عظيم. إن الذين ينادونك من وراء الحجرات أكثرهم لا يعقلون ولو أنهم صبروا حتى تخرج إليهم لكان خيرا لهم والله غفور رحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا أن تصيبوا قوما بجهالة فتصبحوا على ما فعلتم نادمين. واعلموا أن فيكم رسول الله لو يطيعكم في كثير من الأمر لعنتم ولكن الله حبب إليكم الإيمان وزينه في قلوبكم وكره إليكم الكفر والفسوق والعصيان أولئك هم الراشدون فضلا من الله ونعمة والله عليم حكيم. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. وإن طائفتان من المؤمنين اقتتلوا فأصلحوا بينهما، فإن بغت إحداهما على الأخرى فقاتلوا التي تبغي حتى تفيء إلى أمر الله، فإن فاءت فأصلحوا بينهما بالعدل وأقسطوا إن الله يحب المقسطين. إنما المؤمنون إخوة فأصلحوا بين أخويكم واتقوا الله لعلكم ترحمون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا يسخر قوم من قوم عسى أن يكونوا خيرا منهم، ولا نساء من نساء عسى أن يكن خيرا منهن، ولا تلمزوا أنفسكم ولا تنابزوا بالألقاب، بئس الاسم الفسوق بعد الإيمان، ومن لم يتب فأولئك هم الظالمون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اجتنبوا كثيرا من الظن إن بعض الظن إثم، ولا تجسسوا ولا يغتب بعضكم بعضا، أيحب أحدكم أن يأكل لحم أخيه ميتا فكرهتموه، واتقوا الله إن الله تواب رحيم. يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم إن الله عليم خبير. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. As was announced earlier, inshallah, Imam Azhar will be giving a dars after, and there is
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله وكفى والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. أما بعد، وتمم بالمستعين يا فتاح. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. رب زدني علما والحقني بالصالحين. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. سبحان الجواد الكريم. My dear respected brothers and Imam, today we want to set the case as to why it is important for us to reflect and to exhort some effort towards understanding what it means to be a Muslim. To define this position, we look first in the Holy Quran, in which some of what was going to be discussed was actually recited in the Holy Quran this morning in Fajar prayer. We go to an incident that the Quran relates. قَالَتِ الْأَعْرَابُ آمَنَّا. A group of villagers had come to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and they declared that they are believers. Three stages in the life of someone who is pursuing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How many stages, everyone? 3 stages. The first is Islam. The second is Iman. The third is Ihsan. These people came as they had embraced the faith And they said, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, amanna. We are believers. And the Quran was sent down, revelation was sent down to correct their statement. قُلْ لَمْ تُؤْمِنُوا. Say to them, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, you have not believed. As much as we want to be open-ended and respectful and encouraging to these individuals that they came and they are expressing their utmost desire to be believers, but please correct them and say that you are not believers yet. وَلَكِنْ قُولُوا أَسْلَمْنَا. But say that we have just submitted to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Islam is submission. Islam is submission. Iman is for that which you submitted to penetrate into the core of yourself. And ihsan is wherein you get lost with who you are because you have become engrossed in who is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلَمَّا يَدْخُلِ الْإِيمَانُ فِي قُلُوبِكُمْ. That Iman and faith has yet to penetrate into your heart. A person can bring a seed of a date and they can say, I have a seed. It's a correct statement. But if they say, I have a tree of dates in my hand, they are wrong. In order for that to translate into a tree which then produces dates, there is something called starts with the word P, process. Everyone's with me? You have to plant it, you have to nurture it, you have to allow it to grow, you have to take care of it, and then ultimately those dates will come on that tree. When we look at one another, we see examples within our society. We cannot find that resemblance of what it means to be a Muslim. It's the most confusing statement out there in our faith today. When you hear people bashing, oh, this Muslims are so, or those Muslims are so good, status or category, how do we define that? Forget Iman, that's a topic for another time. How do I define a Muslim? Someone who submits to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is going to be part of our journey that inshallah we will embark on a monthly basis for 20 minutes. Hopefully to create a conversation within ourselves so that we can go back home and reflect on how I can be a Muslim before I become a mu'min. Remember, give you an example, there are many cars out there in the market today. There are many companies that produce cars. And there are many models of cars which are very distinct. Even though that the models of the cars differ, but the models of one company have similar touch to it. For example, the model of cars from the Toyota company are different than that in Honda, and Honda is different than those of Hyundai, and Hyundai is different than those of Ford. Doesn't matter what the models are, being from that company, there is some level of resemblance. As Muslims, we all are going to be different in our own way, but there has to be some similarities and resemblance amongst us that can define us as those who are submitting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Quran said this morning in the prayer as Imam recited, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةٌ. We say Muslims are brothers one to another. No, they're not. Those Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said are the believers. They're the mu'mins. How can I become a brother one to another, or a sister one to another, or a community that's loving one to another? That entails a process. And that process is first you have to put yourself down in order to give space for others to be understood. That's what Islam will allow you to do. When Islam will allow you to put yourself back and put others forward, then you have begun the process of brotherhood and sisterhood. Does that make sense? It's a process. when the following verses said, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا لَا يَسْخَرْ قَوْمٌ مِّنْ قَوْمٍ عَسَىٰ أَن يَكُونُوا خَيْرًا مِّنْهُمْ وَلَا نِسَاءٌ مِّن نِسَاءٍ عَسَىٰ أَن يَكُنَّ خَيْرًا مِّنْهُنْ. Again here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used the term يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. O you who have believed, i.e. who have reached the second stage, you will not mock one another, because there's a great probability that mocked are better than mocking. But how does that level of understanding come about? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam hadith, al-muslimu man salima al-muslimuna min lisanihi wa yadihi. Forget talking about backbiting or mockery or putting people down. Of that to become part of our society and community is that as a Muslim, I understand it is not befitting for me to harm anyone through my tongue or through my actions. So the point today, this morning, is, brothers and sisters, being a Muslim isn't just a title. It is a title that has a clear-cut definition to it. And whilst we define that title, there implies within it growth. A growth that will occur in an organic fashion that will take us from where we are to a level of Iman that is conviction. Because we've done it for so long, we believe in it in such a way that if someone wakes you up at 2:30 in the morning and tells you, "What are you?" you could say, "I am a believer." I am a believer. Haritha radiallahu anh came to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam asked him, "Kayfa asbahta ya Haritha?" How's your morning, Haritha? How did you wake up this morning? And he said without any hesitance, "Asbahtu mu'minan haqqa." I've woken up as a complete believer. Complete believer. Not a half believer, not a charging believer. I'm a full believer. So he said, لِكُلِّ قَوْلٍ حَقِيقَةٍ فَمَا حَقِيقَةُ قَوْلِكَ يَا حَارِثَةَ. Everything a person says, they have to back it with something. You need to have some proof and evidence. Statistics, numbers, claims. You need to have some backing to it. What is the claim that you're making? What's the backing to it? What's the support? He said that I spend my days in fasting, my nights in worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَكَأَنِّي أَنظُرُ إِلَىٰ عَرْشِ الرَّحْمَنِ بَارِزًا. My life has been a work in progress to this moment, that as if I can see the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is continuity, it's consistency that has brought me to this point. Not only is he a complete believer, my fellow Muslims, but he is now reaching the level of ihsan. Ihsan is where we have to all aspire to, which is أَعْبُدُ اللَّهَ كَأَنَّكَ تَرَاهُ. Worship Allah as if you see Him. فَإِن لَمْ تَكُنْ تَرَاهُ. If you can't reach that level that you're cognizant that you see Allah at every moment in time, then the minimal level, the entry door to ihsan, فَإِنَّهُ يَرَاكَ. He is seeing you. So before I can reach a level where my actions are toned by the fact that I acknowledge Allah is watching me or I am seeing Allah, is of bringing that faith into the core of our heart in our lives. And for that is a process, and that is the process of Islam. The process of Islam has a core element which is called connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In regards to that connection, inshallah, next month we will summarize how do I connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through submission, that I can start building towards being a believer. The reason we want to do this, now close with this case, is that as Muslims around the world, there should be a certain defining factor that makes us all the same, that allows us to serve each other, that allows us to be of goodness to one another and of benefit to one another. The one thing I want us all to take home today, before I give the story and close, is that Allah has given us two eyes. Yes? Alhamdulillah. One I am going to start using to see everyone's goodness. And the other I'm going to continue to use to see my flaws and my weaknesses. This is the first step I feel that will allow our Islam to grow into Iman. I'm not going to feel shame and I'm not going to judge anyone here, but I'm still a Muslim. Inshallah, in our crowd here, there are mu'mins and people who are reached level of ihsan. I'm still a Muslim. And I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He allows me to become a mu'min and all of us to become mu'mins, inshallah. Ameen. So for that, the first step we're going to do, because it's better that we take small steps and constructive steps, leaps and bounds that will only fall back down. I want to see, when I look at someone, how many goodnesses are in that person that I wish I had inside myself. And every time I think of bad and evil and wickedness and flaws, I look at my own self. I had traveled to a non-Muslim country alone after my parents and I departed from Jordan. I went to a non-Muslim country. When I got to that non-Muslim country, I was not feeling well. I was very sick. And so what happened was, I went into this taxi and I told him, take me to any hotel, any to sleep. The reason I got sick was my uncle had given me malaria tablets. He said, you're going to that country, take one every week. It's going to help prevent you from becoming sick. Now, if you ever take one of those tablets, they're a disaster. So by the time I got to the hotel, I don't even remember what happened, and I went to this room and I knocked out. My luggage was left in the car. I didn't know what had happened. I woke up after a good 7-8 hours. And the first thing was, where am I? What's going on? I opened the door, looked around, and I couldn't even remember where I was. Long story short, my luggage was there. I went downstairs. I met with the person at the front desk. He said, are you feeling okay, son? I said, yeah, I'm doing okay now. He goes, let's give you some bread. You look hungry. And I asked him, what happened? And he said that you came in, you were not looking right, and we took care of your luggage, we checked you in, you could pay after, no problem. SubhanAllah. And nighttime had come. I said to him, I want to go eat a good meal. Jazakallah khair for the bread and the butter. I want to go eat a meal. So he got me a taxi, went to the center of town, went to McDonald's, ate. And when I got out from there, I sat into one of the taxis and people started storming the taxi. They came right into it. I was like, oh no, they're going to rob me today. I'm in big trouble. And they got the taxi driver and they started telling him off, and I'm listening here. And one of them grabbed my hand and pulled me out. The taxi said, where do you want to go? I said, well, the card I had given to the taxi driver, he went and he got it back. He said, how much did he tell you? I said, this is how much he told me. He goes, I'll charge you the same. And as he was driving me back, I was shaking because I didn't know what he was going to do to me. I said, why